As you can see, I'm hitting the unlock button. It does it once, but then I'm hitting it again, and it doesn't register half the time, as you can see. Like now I'm hitting the lock button. Okay, it locked now. And then as you can see, the headlights don't turn on when you hit the unlock button. Even though all those settings are set, it doesn't turn on. Hi, this is my review of my 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn. It has been a less than pleasant experience since taking delivery of my truck on July 19th, 2024. On the second day of ownership, I noticed that the headlights did not work when I unlocked the vehicle. I notified the person I bought the vehicle from, dealership, my salesperson, and at that point I was told, schedule appointment. It's your truck now. You know, uh, headlights don't turn on when I hit the unlock button. Uconnect was showing issues. Auto start stop wasn't working correctly when using adaptive cruise control, and the instrument cluster would become unresponsive at least once, with widgets not showing data correctly, forcing me to restart Uconnect several times. I took the truck in for its first repair on July 30th. They had it from July 30th through August 5th, 2024, a total of 7 days. For the headlights not working, the instrument cluster acting up, and the auto start stop issue acting up. They were not able to fix the headlights. They pushed a software update, which temporarily fixed the instrument cluster issue. They had trouble with the auto start stop thing because it only happens with adaptive cruise control, and they didn't understand how to use adaptive cruise control. And then once I showed them, it only happened half the time. So they're just like, well, it's software. So then they opened a start case. Well, then on 9/24, 2024, my check engine light came on. I had some issues with my speakers. They sounded blown or squeaky, and the headlights were still not working correctly. And I knew that the check engine light issue happened because in order to have my headlights turn on, I have to remote start the vehicle. So even though it was September and it was nice out, I had to remote start the vehicle for the headlights to turn on. It was nighttime and the truck turned off immediately. So they had it from 9/24/2024 to 9/30/2024, another 7 days. That time when the check engine light was on, it was a software issue. They replaced the speakers and they still had no resolution for the headlights. Um, They may or may not have put an update on at that point. I can't remember because there was a couple of updates. I can't remember if they did an update on the first appointment or the second appointment, but either way, they did an update one of those times, and the list of issues just started to exponentially grow at that point. They asked me to wait for future updates before coming back to them regarding the headlight issue. Um, After that, they did the update then because after they did that update, I started having issues with the Uconnect screen. I started having issues with the radio, HVAC controls not working and or flashing, uh, Windows. The issues just grew at that point. So they pushed the update out towards the end of November, I think it was. That update did not fix any of the issues. It made the car worse. So then I reached out, had them work on it from 12/16/2024 to 12/27/2024, 11 days, regarding the HVAC controls not working and flashing on the recirculate button. The radio screen flashing. I have to restart Uconnect all the time, which caused the button to turn the radio on and off to not work. The headlights still didn't work. There was issues with the key not being detected in the vehicle, and I had issues with with it unlocking. I had to hit the unlock button many times before it would actually work. So they had it in. They fixed the radio. They replaced the RF module. Well, sorry, they didn't fix the radio. They fixed the radio button. So I was able to turn the radio on and off again. Um, and then they had an issue on back order for the window control module. So that was fine. I waited. Um, and then in February, I had the check engine light come on again. This time, though, it was a legitimate issue. They had to rebuild half of my engine I asked them to give me details, and I was just told, "We do this every day. It's nothing to worry about." Um, so it was in for 9 days from 2/5/25 to 2/14/2025. Still with the issues with the headlights, still had issues with the radio screen flashing, the recirculate button flashing and not working. They did replace the control module at that point on the driver's side door for the mirrors. Auto start stop was still acting up. Um, it was running rough and shifting rough since the oil change and the flash of the engine, but I found out that was because of the check engine light issue. Um, so yeah, and then they got it back to me, and then I gave it back to them on 2/24/2025 through 3/7/2025, another 11 days because the headlights were still not working, the radio was still flashing, the recirculate button was flashing and not working. Um, After they rebuilt the engine, it had a constant burning rubber plastic electrical smell that would cause me to get nauseous and dizzy while operating the vehicle. Um, I started getting ghost alerts from the auto emergency braking system would engage when nobody's in front of me, and I had an issue where like I would pull up to something and I would clearly be in front of something on the right front sensor, and the left front sensor would start going off. Um, you know, yeah, the instrument cluster was still happening, and the auto start stop wasn't working. As you can see, auto start stop is ready.
I just felt magnetic.
Yeah, it goes down and it can't do it. So they took it in. They had it for 11 days. They told me that oh, the burning engine smell will go away. It never did. It's still there. Um, they didn't look at the auto start stop issue. They assured me that there was nothing wrong with the ghost vehicle alerts, even though it still happens to this day. And so at that point, I opened my arbitration case because I just needed out of this vehicle. Because at that point, it was 50 days, 40 days it had been in the shop at that point. Um, they had to rebuild the engine. And keep in mind, I only got the vehicle last July. So it was 7 months. And in that 7 months, I'd been without it for 2 months. Um, So, anyways, I opened arbitration. They weren't allowed to work on it during the arbitration process. I gathered my evidence. I did a documents only case because I couldn't miss any more work. I couldn't miss any work because of this. My co-signer couldn't miss any work because of this, which my co-signer can't even operate the vehicle because of the screen flashing and the light flashing issue. Because she has a seizure issue, so she can't even operate the vehicle that she co-signed on. So they weren't allowed to work on it during arbitration. So I just didn't go anywhere or much. I dealt with it. I continued to drive it, hoping that the burning engine smell would go away, and it didn't.
It gets stronger the longer it runs.
Yep. Again, that's normal though. That's normal operation.
All right, so if you or I go into an asthma attack because of this smell, that's normal too.
Yes, because I told the guy, I'm like, it makes me dizzy and nauseous. I'm like, I have to drive with the windows down. Like, that's how I found out that one doesn't work half the time. And although arbitration agreed with me that there were issues with the vehicle, they did not feel that they put my life at risk, which I severely disagree with. Um, and they also said that because I was not financially obligated to purchase the truck at the end of the lease, which isn't until January of 2028, they decided to go with Stellantis, and they told me no. They were like, we're not gonna help you. And then now I'm dealing with a lemon law lawyer. Um, again, we put all the evidence up. Um, Stellantis requested when I was in the shop one time, they requested that I come up and demo with them, and I had just started a new job, so I'm like, well, it needs to be after hours or before hours, my working hours. They accused me of refusing to do the demo drive, and I verified with them that I wasn't refusing to do it. I just needed them to work around my schedule since I just started a new job. And after 3 days after that, they're just like, well, we're not working on it anymore. The Stellantis rep said this, and because it's in litigation, we can't help you anymore. So then they brought it home. And at that point, that was when I was forced to lease a second vehicle because I cannot rely on the truck, because it had already put me in mental, physical, and emotional distress. And now, unfortunately, because I had to lease a second vehicle, it's putting me in financial distress. Um, but I had no choice because I cannot operate the Ram due to the burning engine smell, due to the lights not working, due to the shifting issue, due to the phantom braking, all the issues. I can't safely operate the vehicle. It scares me. I fear for my life operating the vehicle. Anybody that has ridden in the vehicle fears for their life in the vehicle.
Hi there. My name is Richard. I'm speaking on behalf of Jess Harper. With his truck, I did ride in it once, and to be honest, I'd never ride in it again. Um, Between how it shifts, it's super jerky. You can tell that the gauge cluster is all over the place. It's blinking. It's super distracting. Um, Also, you can see like when the headlights are misbehaving, it's just it was just so unsafe, and I did not feel comfortable riding in it.
My name is Rhonda Harper. I'm actually co-owner of the Ram 1500 that my son currently owns and is leasing. He has had it for 1 year and has had multiple issues with it. It has been in the shop multiple times, and per Michigan law, should be under the lemon law. Things I have noticed while riding, because I am not able to drive the vehicle because of these concerns due to medical issues I have. One thing is the smell of the vehicle makes me sick and gives me a migraine, triggers my migraines. The other thing is the screen flashes either during the day or night. It's more prevalent. Due to a seizure history, I do not feel safe driving the vehicle because I do not want this to trigger a potential seizure. Also, I got a ghost alert when I was riding with him one time, and it startled me so much. It scared me, and I also have a heart condition, and that was a concern if that would be continued or not. The main concern is a safety feature that I feel is not being met is when you go to start the car or open the vehicle, the headlights do not come on. This could be a safety feature because if in an area that is not secure, could be a potential threat or scare for yourself. I don't believe this is a very good vehicle. I have been a long-time fan of the Stellantis, Dodge, Chrysler group for over 40 years. I continue, but I am also going to be looking elsewhere after this experience because other vehicles we have also had minor issues, but this one has been a major problem for my son to the point where he ended up getting a second vehicle because he is so afraid to drive this vehicle. Thank you.
Long story short, I don't recommend the 2025 Ram 1500, because my truck and every loaner that they gave me, the 60 days my truck was in the shop, they all had the same issue. Um, Screens flashing, headlights didn't work. Two times I had Rams with the Hurricane engine in it, same issues. I had one with the Pentastar in it, same issues. Um, and I want to be clear that in the beginning, the service center, they were taking care of me. I have back issues and all that, and I have older parents that can't get in and out of the truck without side steps, so they made sure that they got me a truck with side steps. So I want to be clear, like the service center, they did what they could to try to remediate this, but unfortunately, because of the way things are in the state of Michigan, like Stellantis sells the truck to the dealership. The dealership sells the truck to me slash the financing place. So it's not just as simple as asking Stellantis to tear up my lease, because my lease isn't with Stellantis. My lease is with Stellantis Financial Services. So it's kind of with them, but it's kind of not. And they can't just like I owe $15,000 on the loan right now. I think they can't just say like, okay, the $15,000, tear it up, it's gone. they have to come up with all of the money for the truck because they have to be able to pay the entire truck off, which it's a $60,000 truck, minus what I have. I think it's like 40,000 or whatever. So they'd have to come up with 40,000, I think it is, to do a buyout. They can't just tear up the contract, which I'd be fine with, just to get me out. Um, and as a result, I had to lease a second vehicle, which I love that vehicle. It's a Tesla. I've had zero issues with it, knock on wood. Um, and yeah, so I can't, I hope they figure their shit out. As a Metro Detroit person, I, don't want to see any of the big three companies hurting, but they seriously shit the bed this year with these the 2025 Ram 1500s. Feel safe in the truck anymore. I can't give the truck to anybody to use. I have friends and family who have 15-year-old cars and they went on trips, and I offered them my truck, and they'd rather take their 15-year-old car because they trust that more than my truck, which I don't blame them. At this point, I just can't trust Stellantis. Um, you know, about a decade ago, I had a Chrysler 200, and I had the same type of thing. I went through like 7 transmissions. They declared that one a lemon. They built me a new car, and then that car, the first weekend I had it, the transmission died on it. The second weekend I had it, the front suspension system fell out of it. So then I ended up just buying that back. So I left Chrysler for about a decade, decided to come back and give them a chance, and it's just been a horror. It's been horrible since the get go. Um, Again, I hope in 2026 model year they figure their shit out. They're bringing the Hemi back, but I mean, at this point, I can't trust them. I wouldn't trust them, and yeah, so this is my 1 year review, I guess. Don't buy a 2025 Ram 1500. Worst vehicle I've ever owned, leased, whatever. Um, and I pray to God that I am not stuck with it until January of 2028 because I mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, I just can't deal with this anymore. I need this lemon out of my life.